After Spider-Man 1 mentioned Dr. Connors and Spider-Man 2 featured a scene with Dr. Connors, I thought it was obvious that the Lizard was going to be the third villain in the third movie, so I thought I'd try and see if I could actually write the movie before it came out and see how much of it I could actually get right. And I'd read that Sam Raimi would like to see the Lizard and Kraven as villains at some point in the future franchise, and that Black Cat had been cut out of the second movie, not only for time but because Sam Raimi wanted Alicia Duku to play her, but she wasn't interested. So I took these elements and wrote my own little Spider-Man 3 treatment. I'm going to give you Act 1 because, well, that's all you really need to hear, and then you can figure out the rest. Open on Peter Parker in class. The bell rings and everyone but Peter leaves. He sticks around to talk to Dr. Connors about his latest project. Connor reveals that he is at a very exciting stage on something that, if proved possible, would make him a household name. Peter wishes him luck and leaves for work. Peter arrives at the Daily Bugle. Betty Brant flirts a little before J. Jonah Jameson spots Peter through the windows that make up his office and bangs on the glass for his attention. JJ orders Peter downtown to take pictures of a great New York hope, a hunter who is promising to kill Spider-Man and for nothing but the thrill of the kill. Peter is shocked to hear JJ's lack of emotional response to such a thing. Peter attends Kraven the Hunter's press conference to take the pictures required of him. He listens to the press question Kraven why he thinks Spider-Man is a threat. Spider-Man protesters clash with a group of supporters. Kraven claims that this proves that Spider-Man is bad for the city, smiling throughout and coming off as the good guy. Peter walks away stunned at the whole thing. Peter drops by Aunt May's for lunch. He mentions Kraven, but May quickly changes the conversation to the girl topic. He and MJ aren't together. She's taken some time out after a breakup with Jameson's son and is out of town shooting a TV pilot. Night falls. Dr. Connors sets up things in his lab. He speaks into a handheld tape recorder describing his actions as he prepares for his experiment. Meanwhile, across the city, a group of heavily armed masked men climb out of a bulletproof van behind a jewelry store. Spider-Man spots the would-be thieves and enters the building behind them quietly. The leader of the masked gang attempts to steal everything in sight, stuffing them into large swag bags. Spider-Man makes himself known and a gun battle breaks out. Spider-Man webs up all the bad guys and turns to put the diamonds back in their rightful place, only to see the Black Cat taking them for herself. He calls out after her and she escapes through a window. Spidey webs after her. Spider-Man chases the Black Cat across the night skies, around buildings and over the rooftops. She teases him as he almost struggles to keep up with her. After a minute she stops on a rooftop to talk to him. She teases him promiscuously, then drops over the side of the skyscraper. Spider-Man jumps over the edge to continue the chase, but she's completely out of sight. At his lab, Dr. Connors takes his new formula and mutates into the Lizard. His clothing rips over his body, leaving only his torn white lab coat over the top of his pants attached to him. He jumps through the window and out into the unsuspecting public below, to begin a rampage through the city. Peter returns home for the night, switches off his police radio, and goes to sleep. The next day, Peter arrives at work to a frantic office. A mad J. Jonah Jameson asks Peter for the pictures, but he has no clue what he's talking about. JJ rants about punk kids photographers not knowing their job and having to be everywhere at all times to get the pictures they need for the scoop. JJ mentions that some jewels were stolen from a local diamond house. Spider-Man was seen webbing away. Spider-Man and an accomplice. Peter leaves the office confused. Betty fills Peter in on the Lizard, but Eddie didn't get any pictures either, so he shouldn't worry. Dr. Connors wakes up by the sea in a tattered lab coat barely covering him. He heads home confused and a little scared. Peter attends the spot where the Lizard was last seen. He takes a few pictures before hearing a cry for help. He changes into Spider-Man and swings into action. Spider-Man sees a skinny woman being mugged by a skinny man. He swings out to help the woman against the mugger. His spider sense tingles and he turns around just in time to see Kraven's whip smash him in the face. The skinny man and the skinny woman run off together. Hired junkies. Kraven talks smack to Spider-Man and attacks. Spider-Man underestimates Kraven the Hunter and gets hit a few times. They fight for a minute, but Spider-Man eventually comes out on top. But the win is by no means easy. Spider-Man webs off, leaving Kraven talking to himself. Peter hands in his photos. JJ heard word that Spider-Man and Kraven were caught fighting. He is annoyed when Peter says that he didn't get any shots of the action. Useless kids. Eddie Brock enters and hands JJ a file full of them. Spider-Man and Kraven photos. Peter heads to class, defeated. Peter and the rest of the class wait for Dr. Connors to arrive, but he doesn't show up for work. People start to leave after a while, and Peter worries. Peter visits Aunt May. He meets her guests, Felicia Hardy and her mother. Felicia talks to Peter while the oldies talk. She's clearly interested in him. She gets off on his slightly shy awkwardness and gets him to agree to take her out and show her the town sometime. Peter visits Dr. Connors at his home. Dr. Connors keeps the chain on the door locked. He tells Peter that he had a slight reaction to his experiment and wasn't feeling good enough to turn up for work, but he'll be back in a few days. Connors conceals a newly formed right hand behind his back and Peter leaves. Felicia picks Peter up from his house. They see a movie, then go for a walk by the river afterwards. They're getting to know each other when the lizard strikes. Peter tells Felicia to get to safety. He's got to take some pictures for work. He'll call her later. Spider-Man fights the lizard in front of a packed city street. The lizard is overly strong and gets away quite easily. Spider-Man is left breathless. End of Act 1. So, just briefly to close, Kraven attacks Spider-Man a few more times in an attempt to kill him and fails. Spider-Man fights the lizard again, finds out afterwards that he's Dr. Connors. He goes to Oscorp to get help from Harry, borrow one of his labs to help find a cure for Dr. Connors. Kraven gives up trying to kill Spider-Man and tries to prove he's better by announcing that he's going to kill the lizard because Spider-Man can't. By now, of course, Spider-Man knows that it's his friend, and so he's got to stop his friend when he turns into the lizard from killing people, and at the same time stop Kraven from killing his friend. So he gets Felicia Hardy as the Black Cat, having found out who she is, to tag team with him to hold back Kraven while he tries to get Dr. Connors with the injection to cure him. And they all live happily ever after. Eddie Brock obviously set up a little more so that he could have a fourth movie as Venom being the villain, because let's face it, a Venom movie where Venom is the sole villain would easily make $1 billion. I mean, if The Dark Knight did it, and Dark Knight is it's full of drama rather than your typical comic book action, it's bound to. Anyway, I'll put some more of my ideas up eventually for other movies. How I would have made a trilogy for Superman to be set before Superman Returns and still have Superman Returns be the fourth entry, and how that all would have worked. Leave whatever comments you want. You can tell me I suck. Don't care. I'm never going to write Spider-Man 3. Till next time. Bye.